Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome into the show. Welcome in, welcome in. It is right. I have that like down to a T. That music, when it cuts off, that video cuts off. I have to remember that because I was grabbing my drink. But welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. It is Sunday, September the 14th. And here we're here again. We're here again. It's good to be here. So thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Tanya, or Titanium Built. You can call me either or. I don't prefer one over the other. We're going to talk about Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelly tonight. We've been covering this case on the channel since 2024. And some of the defendants have now went to trial. We didn't get to see the trial because there was no cameras. So all we got to see was them being shuffled in and out of court. That's all we got for our entertainment purposes. But we did get to see them there. So that was something. But we're going to talk about this case tonight. If you're new to this case, I'm going to give you guys a summary and then we'll get started with the documents. Cora, Paul Grice, and I think Cole maybe even took a plea. But I know for sure that Cora and Paul Grice took a plea deal. They're spilling the beans. They're telling us all. They're telling us everything. They're just spilling it. So I'm excited about that. And hopefully you guys are too, because we're going to read over some documents. There is like a bunch of documents in there. So welcome in, everybody. I won't like say hi to every single person, but welcome in, everyone. It's good to see you, Ladybug. Are you the only mod in here tonight? Did everyone leave you? No, there's baby girl. Hola. I'm like, did everyone leave you? You'd have Nightbot join you. Nightbot's a pain in the butt. I need to simmer him down a little bit. I need to put cute messages in there for Nightbot so that Nightbot can tell you guys cute things during the live. I always forget to do that. Like, I don't know, little sayings or something. That way, like when we're like doing, hard stuff, we're talking about the hard stuff, we can, lighten it up a little. But I do have some pictures I'm going to pull up of them. That way, in case, anyone needs a refresher, because sometimes we need one. But on March 30th, 2024, Jilian and Veronica, they drove from Kansas to Oklahoma, the Panhandle, for a scheduled visitation pickup at a remote highway intersection near the state line. They were going to meet at this it was a gas station that was run down. It was a gas station maybe in the 60s, 70s. I don't even know if they still had pumps left. They were going to meet there. It was called Four Corners. But their SUV was found abandoned near that evening with signs of foul play. There was, what time are we at? You don't want YouTube to get me. Okay, we'll just say red stuff for now, for just the next couple of minutes. But they did find that on the road, Butler's glasses, a broken hammer, and a pistol magazine. But that was the pistol was in Jillian's purse, but they found a pistol magazine outside of the car. So that was on March 30th. So we started covering the case, and we didn't hear anything until April 6th, which is my dad's birthday. And authorities discovered the woman's bodies buried in a stock tank freezer on a rural property in Texas County, Oklahoma. It was about 8 miles from the abandoned car, so pretty close. Autopsies later confirmed brutal deaths. Butler died from sharp force injury to the neck, while Kelly suffered multiple stab wounds, including to the neck and face from a box cutter. Like, you got the prepaid burner phones. You did, you got the tie straps for the freezer. You did all the things, right? You were trying to be prepared. And then you don't bring a sufficient weapon. Even the anvil would have been a better idea. If you don't know, I'll tell you about that later. So that happened on April 6th. They found the bodies. They did autopsies April 13th through the 28th. 4 suspects were arrested at first. Tiffany Adams, which is the grandmother to Veronica Butler, which is the redhead here. And I'll actually put this picture up because it has their names. They arrested Tiffany Adams, her boyfriend Tad Cullum. So Tiffany and then Tad. Tad's 43, and a couple called Cole and Cora Twombly. Cole is 50 and Cora is 44. They're all linked to a group called God's Misfits. They faced charges of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Then all of a sudden, when we thought like things couldn't get, crazier in this case, they arrest a 5th suspect, Paul Grice, age 34. So you have all these other people that are, 40s above, and then you got him, 34. He was arrested in May 2024 on similar charges. And the children were found safe, thank goodness. And they were found with another couple that's associated, though, with that group, God's Misfits. So we're going to hear their testimony tonight. We're going to hear what they have to say. So if you guys don't know, I'm going to give you a little background, too. I thought I had this up. Okay. We'll do this last. Okay. So I did this family tree. I did this little family tree like forever ago. So don't judge me on it. But so that way you have like an idea of who the key players are in this case. And if you have any questions, just let me know and we'll answer them for you. Hey, Monchichi, welcome in, everybody. If you guys don't mind, I forgot to ask you, if you guys don't mind, will you take a second, hit the like button for me? It really does help. It helps the channel. And sometimes you just got to like your own video. I liked my own video. I think it's a great video so far. Right, Ladybug. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the other lady's name. I have a folder for this case. It starts with like a B, I want to say. But yeah, so Tiff, I guess, the rules were, I guess, if you whoever the person was that was getting the children or whatever, that they were supposed to like have their own chaperone, I guess. So like Tiffany's really wasn't supposed to go with Veronica's, but I think she did that on purpose too. Like, we don't need you this week, because she knew what she was going to do to Veronica and Jilian. And I cannot imagine those two women driving down the road. They stop because they see a trailer, like a horse trailer, and they see these two people. And they probably are telling them like, "Oh, go this way. You know, it's a faster way." They're not knowing any better, and they just go down that road, and then they see Tiffany standing there. I think at that point, I think Veronica knew something was up, because I think she already knew that they were trying to kill her. So this is a crazy case. So you got Tiffany Adams, who is the mother of Wrangler, which is the victim, Veronica's children's father. So you've got Veronica, Wrangler, Cole Rickman, that have two children together. They were supposed to be having joint custody. Tiffany Adams is the grandmother who stole the kids at one point and wouldn't give them back to neither of them. Like she was that possessive of these kids. Like these were not just her grandkids, these were her possessions. And she did not want Veronica to have her possessions. It's clear in the paperwork I was reading earlier. And then you have Jillian Kelly, who is she's just a victim. She literally was just there to supervise the visit. And that's it. You know, preacher's wife, very sad. Then you have Tad Collum, who is Tiffany's boyfriend. And then you've got the Twombleys, who are the co-conspirators. So you have Cole and Cora. Now, these names, the children, they will come in the paperwork. They don't, put them by name, but CW is Cora's daughter. So it's Cole's stepdaughter. They both have kids, but they're by somebody else. So then Cole has a son named Frank, and that's Cora's stepson. Like kind of like boy and then girl. It's kind of crazy. And then we don't really know. Well, and then Clint Twombly, which is Cole's brother, I believe, owns the flatbed that they took with them the day of the murders, the one that they had CW clean out because they told her everything. She was 16 and her mom told her what happened. I mean, these people are not very smart. And Tiffany thought that Cole was going to be the one that would talk. It was his wife. So then you have the God's Misfits. And these are the 5 people that were arrested for murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. And that's Tiffany Adams, Tad Collum, Cole Twombly, Cora Twombly, and Paul Grice. And now I'm going to show you some pictures of them. Actually, let me show you this. The babysitters that had, the kids, they are named Lacey Cook and Barrett Cook, and I think they should be prosecuted as well. I don't know why they're not. They knew something. You can't tell me that they didn't. Property they were found on was Jamie Beasley, which he passed away during this. Tad still hasn't went on trial yet, but so Jamie Beasley owns the property that Tad lived on where they found the freezer. Usually if somebody dies, they can't really be a witness anymore to a case because they can't do a firsthand account. They can't sit there on the stand and give you like a firsthand account. But they had already taped his interview. Sorry, guys. They had already taped his interview. So I think that's fine. It's going to come into evidence. So this is Tad and this is Tiffany. I mean, they look friendly enough, They don't look friendly at all. And I swear Cole Twombly is smiling in this picture. He looks like it with his eyes. He looks like he's just... And then you got Cora Twombly. She's like, oh, shit, shouldn't have told my daughter that. And then we got Paul Grice. Paul finally got a picture. This is a very sad case. Okay, so then y'all, I need better graphic skills. Okay, so I put together this was back when they the first day of court, and they hauled them all in, and they sent out a court layout but they didn't really tell us, like, they just like told us by like word, right? They didn't give us a picture. They just told us like in words where they were putting everybody, because they have 5 defendants, right? So this is my little courtroom layout. So you have the judge here, I should have put a little judge up there. That's what I should have done. That would have been smart. Okay, so they were all kind of separated. Like the couples were separated. So you have Tad Collum, like way over here hanging out at his own table. Paul Grice is up here in the front, like right on display. Cole is sitting behind him. Then you have the state and the prosecution. Then you got Cora over here at this table. And then where the defense would normally sit, they put Tiffany Adams, the ringleader of the whole thing. And I think they did that on purpose because she was the ringleader. So they put her at the biggest table. They put her at the defense table. I think that's probably a smart idea. Yeah. Casey. Yep. Yep. This is the one. This is the one. Yeah. Remember when this first happened? Man, like, it was crazy. Thanks. Get to the ducking point. I appreciate that. I try. I really do. Okay. I try to give you guys at least a picture of what's going on. So I was reading through this and I'm like, what is going on up here? So apparently, and I'll read it to you, but apparently all of the defendants are trying to sell off assets. Some of them are trying to sell off assets they don't even have. They're just getting credit cards. Like, people are so dumb sometimes. So I'm going to read to you. This is from Amanda Werner. Okay. She's the personal representative of the estate of Veronica Butler. So Veronica's family is suing the defendants right now, like because of what happened. Like, and I mean, I would too. So that's who is filing this against Tiffany Adams. It's the person that's in charge of the estate for Veronica. And I wanted to say this. I was wrong. I was mistaken. I thought Veronica owned like a yoga shop or something like that. I could have sworn she did. Maybe it was Jilian. I'm not sure. But Veronica was a nurse. So she had a very good job. So she wasn't doing wrong by her kids. I read the whole custody report today. I was mad about it. So plaintiff's motion for appointment of receiver for defendant's assets. Basically, they just want the court to look at this paper. So the background, this case arises from the alleged conspiracy largely driven by defendant Adams to kidnap and kill Veronica Butler on the side of the road. Tragically, defendant Adams, that's spelled wrong, was successful, and Veronica Butler and another woman were in fact killed, being stabbed multiple times, thrown into a horse trailer, and buried in a deep freezer approximately 10 feet underground. 10 feet. Not even the regular standard 8 feet. They wanted to go down even deeper just to make sure. That's a big hole. Like, how are you going to say that you didn't have a hole there? Plaintiff has now discovered that defendants, including Adams, are taking substantial steps to begin to sell and otherwise deteriorate assets suspected to be the only assets that may be used to satisfy plaintiff's eventual judgment. It is clear that such efforts are being done to prevent such assets from being the subject of future execution and are being done with the explicit effort to deprive a plaintiff of financial recovery. So, and then they have like a bunch of receipts that they show. We won't go through those, but they be shown receipts. As shown below, given defendants' actions and those actions directed by them, there is immediate danger that property and proceeds are being deteriorated. So basically, it's saying not limited to homes, real property, personal property, bank accounts, and investment accounts. And then this is the legal standing. The argument is there is immediate danger that property or proceeds will be deteriorated in value or wasted during suit. And you're going to find out who she's selling them to, too. So this woman is crazy. As to defendant Adams, on February 10th, 2025, she signed a warranty deed for real property in her individual capacity and as a president of the Adams Family Farming Limited. She does have some money. She comes from, like, I guess, people know her in the community. I guess is like, she was like, I don't know, she was like on the board of something, like, board of representatives or something like that, wasn't she? I'm pretty sure she was. I'm pretty sure. Thank you. Veronica did own a nutrition shop. Thank you, Carrie. I was thinking of you today when I was getting ready for the show. Thank you so much. I was like, I thought it was like a yoga shop, but then in the paperwork it said she was a nurse in the child paperwork. Yeah, I was like, So it says here that as to defendant Adams, on February 10th, she signed a warranty deed for real property. Okay. On February 28th, 2025, an Exhibit 2 deed was signed by Cannon Adams, defendant Adams' adult son. Huh. Okay. Why are you signing over your stuff to your son? I mean, I guess I don't know if the courts had told them not to like sign anything over, but if I were going to prison for the rest of my life, this isn't me giving anybody any grace. Don't get that twisted. But I would probably sign over my stuff too, right? Like if you're like, I'm going to prison for the rest of my life, and if not, I'm going to be at least in jail for the next 2-3 years, while this goes through the court system. I need to sign my stuff over. I don't know. Maybe I would do a power of attorney or something. I don't know how that would work, though, because I wouldn't want them to take my stuff. So then on February 28th, okay, I told you about. No, I didn't tell you about that. I did. Okay. On February 28th, Cannon Adams purportedly assumed the mortgage on the real property. Such documents were filed in Cameron, I'm probably saying that wrong, County, Oklahoma on March 5th, 2025. Let's see, or is it Cimarron? We'll see. Cimarron down over there. Geesh. On March 5th, 2025, then on March 7th, 2025, a release of mortgage for this property conveyed to Cannon Adams was signed by Chris Floyd, CEO of Dream First Bank, and was filed on March 18th, 2025. And it's Exhibit 4. Defendant Adams signed the warranty deed individually and as the president of the Adams Family Farming Limited on February 10th, 2025, purportedly transferring real property to her adult daughter, Tommy? Oh my gosh, Tommy with an E. Adams. Why would you put an E on that? Are we really doing this now? I'm gonna have to see what the speech says.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. I've never seen Tommy with an E, And by the way, hey Carrie. I've never seen that before. Okay. Tommy Adams signed the Exhibits 2 deed on March 6, 2025, Exhibit 6, and assumed the mortgage for real property. Such documents were filed in Cimarron County, Oklahoma on March 7, 2025. On the same day, a release of mortgage for the property conveyed to Tommy Adams was signed by Chris Floyd, CEO of First Dream Bank, and was filed on March 18th, 2025. So basically, she's signing stuff over to her kids. It says on February 10th, purportedly transferring her real property to her adult daughter, Tammy Adams. Tammy Adams signed the Exhibit to deed on March 6, 2025. These documents were filed in Texas County. I did notice that there were different counties. Like this one is Cimarron County, and then this one is Texas County. I don't know if that makes a difference. If she was just trying to be sneakier by putting them to like in different counties. So it says defendant signed an affidavit of possession and a warranty deed in her individual capacity on February 10th, 2025. Tommy Adams signed the Exhibit 2 deed on March 6, 2025. On February 28, 2025, the full release of mortgage for this property conveyed to Tommy Adams was signed by Jim Levick, president of Nebraska State Bank, and was filed in Texas County, Oklahoma on April 9th. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know. So then defendant Tad Column. Next one up. There's also strong evidence that defendant Column was and continues to attempt to sell assets in effort to avoid eventual garnishment. For instance, Lori S. Column, defendant Column's mother and trustee of the TSC, Haynes Well, okay, I can't say that word. We're going to look that one up. I already looked this up earlier. Revocable trust. Began attempting to sell farm equipment online. Selling some farm equipment? What kind of farm equipment are you selling? Huh? One piece of equipment was listed for $148,000. What can we get for farm equipment for one piece of equipment for $148,000? Is it a trailer or like one of those? I don't even know what they're called. Like the tractors that take down like the corn stalks with like the big arms, you know? Like that's a lot of money for one piece of equipment. It could be the steer stir or this what is it? Steer. I don't even know the name of that stupid thing. But that's a lot of money. In addition to farm equipment, and upon information and belief, it appears the defendant column is selling personal vehicles from jail. Perfect, you know? Perfect. And a member of a Ford local dealership had a conversations with defendant McCollum regarding the truck and indicated that defendant Collum said he needed to get rid of the trucks. Why you need to get rid of the trucks? Probably because you need a lawyer. Hey, Bree. Hey, Candy. Welcome in. Hey, Maga. Okay. Additionally, it is unrelated divorce in an unrelated divorce and custody proceeding in Cimarron County, Oklahoma. There is evidence of and a significant risk that Colin will sell a property worth over $200,000 he purchased in New Mexico. Why in New Mexico? I have no idea. Probably a pretty nice little house, though. Maybe that's why he purchased it in New Mexico. I wonder when he purchased it. That would be nice to know. Hey, Reba. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, so defendants Cole and Cora Twombly also have trouble. This is my favorite one. These two are just, Tiffany and Tad are evil, right? They're just downright evil, like evil. Cole and Cora are evil, but they're dumb evil. Like them two couldn't figure anything out together. Really. I'm gonna read this to you. Defendants Cole and Cora Twombly also have trouble financial histories of fraud and divesting assets to avoid garnishment. For instance, Cora has fraudulently opened credit cards in the names of others and obtained a farmer's loan using her son's name. I'm sure he didn't care. He's probably cool with that, right? Such conduct at a minimum shows a lack of credibility and willingness to commit fraud for financial gain. More alarming is the fact that during a custody battle of her daughter, defendant Cora Twombly allegedly sold her daughter's cattle and horse without her daughter's permission or consent. I would be devastated if I was her daughter. That's just, I would be so mad. I would never talk to her again. Additional cattle belonging to her daughter had been previously sold to pay Cora's debts. Cora Twombly has also withdrawn funds from her daughter's bank account without permission or consent and for her own financial gain. Upon information and belief, both Twombly defendants, on behalf of Twombly and Sons and Twombly Cattle Company, they all have something, have engaged in conflicting business relationships in an effort to hide, conceal, and move money and assets to avoid detection and or garnishment. See the affidavits of Coby White, we will, and Lisa White, we're going to hear next. These transactions by defendants were all made after the alleged actions in the plaintiff's petition occurred and were made during the time defendants knew they may be sued, for financial recovery. I read this earlier, but I didn't catch that. Out of the wrongful death of Veronica Butler. I don't know why Jillian's husband's not suing. If I was him, I'd sue him too. That poor man. That poor man. Everybody. In both sides of the family. But just think like your wife's just going because of, like she's just supervising. Like she just wants these kids to be able to see their mom. These people are so evil. So it says defendant Adams was and is trying to transfer real property out of her name so as to avoid eventual satisfaction of the judgment. Defendant Colum is conducting similar behavior and is discussing the act of disposal of assets in his name. As to the Twombly defendants, plaintiff has a real and intimate belief that they will soon begin to dispose or divest themselves from assets as well. Well, if they don't have anything, they probably can't. It says it'll just be like this is part is just saying like imperishable loss to the defendant if they get to sell all their stuff, right? It says defendants cannot meaningfully deny that plaintiff will likely prevail on the merits. Defendant Grice and Cora Twombly, in a corresponding criminal proceeding, laid bare in details of this brutal conspiracy, violent murder, and heinous disposal of Veronica Butler's body. The testimony, along with the guilty plea of Grice, conclusively shows plaintiff is likely to prevail on the merits. Yeah, I think so too. Now, I don't think Grice has tried to do it. Paul has tried to sell anything off. I think he just gives it to his wife. He's married, and I mean, like maybe he put his wife's name already. Now, I know that there was something else in here I wanted to read to you. Like right here. Okay. So these are just this is a warranty deed, and it just says that Tiffany Adams sold. So in consideration of the sum of $10. So to me, did she really sell her property for $10 so that he didn't have to pay taxes on that? Here you go. Here's a property for 10. It says that Adams Family Farming Limited on Oklahoma Corporation, hereinafter referred to as grantor, in consideration of the sum of $10 and other valuable considerations in hand paid, the receipt of which is hereby acknowledged, does hereby grant, bargain, sell, and convey onto Cannon Adams. It gives the mailing address. Let's see. What does this say? Can we copy this? I'm going to Google Maps real quick. I want to see how big this property is. Maybe I should go to Google Earth. I don't know which is better. Well, that doesn't give me, that gives me a road. Partial match this. It doesn't give me anything. It gives me like this whole street, like corner. This is weird. Look at this. It's giving me like the whole freaking county almost. Like this little spot. That's weird. Okay. I want to see where she lives, so I'm going to figure that out. I want to see how big the property is. It's probably pretty big, I would say. Yeah, the gain tax, yeah. Oh, really, Carrie? Yeah. Probably not. Probably not. I don't know why I don't know. The thing to me is, I just don't know how she convinced 5 people to go along with this. I mean, for real. And I think, and I don't know. I think the whites knew something probably too. But I'm like, how did she convince these 5 people? I mean, other than what she was telling them. I mean, she was telling them the grossest stories ever, like, lies and things of that nature. But I mean, still, maybe one of these people had a traumatic experience as a kid, and they were just like, I'm down. And then other one was down. I don't know. They all just folded like they couldn't fold anymore, So I am going to go through the receipts here. Like these little receipts. I don't think I will have to read through all of them, but I do want to get to the whites interviews. I think they're kind of far down. I'm just going to make sure we don't miss anything. And I'll go through these, make sure too. It's probably tell them, don't be selling your property. Okay. What's this? Oh, okay, never mind. Keep going. Sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. This stuff makes me dizzy. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday too. It's been a beautiful day. It's been a wonderful day. We had so much fun today. We had a ball. It was a good day in our household. And last night was a great night too. We went to Target and got the dog. It's sad. We got a rug to put under our bed for the dog because she keeps taking my blankets, my throw blankets off the bed because she wants something to jump onto because it's hardwood floor, so she gets scared. She's jumping on that bed like no other now. I'm like, yes. So, and we got one for the hallway too because it just happened to have one left that matched. And I was like, it matches. So yeah, it was a good weekend. Okay. They're talking about Tad's $200,000 property is going to try to sell. We're getting there. I'm sorry. I should have had the page ready there it is, I think. Yep. Okay. What was right before it? And then, okay. So this is going to be the affidavit of Coby White. So him and his wife are the two that babysat the kids the night before. And Tiffany was like, yeah, I'll be back to pick them up. I think she said around noon the next day, which is weird because Veronica gets them, on the weekends in the morning at like 10. So in my personal opinion, if Coby and his wife knew Tiffany Adams so well, I would be asking questions. Well, like, isn't Veronica getting the kids in the morning? She probably just said, no, she's not getting them. That's stupid. I could hear it. I can hear it now. But if that's what happened, I don't know. So it says, I, Coby White, upon my oath and under penalty of perjury, do hereby depose and state as follows. I am over the age of 18, of sound mind, and competent to testify to the matter set forth herein. I have personal knowledge of the facts stated in this affidavit. He was previously married to Cora? This is the first time I knew that. I didn't know that before. Carrie, I didn't know that before. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm stunned over here. What? Because I knew she had an ex because they have the daughter and the son are both like step, but they all just be getting it round. I guess keep your circle tight. Okay. I was previously married to Cora. Her name is Moore Twombly now. Together we had 2 children. But she only says she has 1. That I know of. Okay. This is their name, so I won't say them though. Cora and I divorced in 2012. Is that Quentin? Is that what that's supposed to say? Quentin and Kinsey? Are we really spelling names like this now, guys? Kitten. That's what it comes up as when I asked him to speak. I don't think his name's Kitten. Cora and I divorced in 2012. I married Lisa White on January 15th, 2013. Well, sometimes you just no pauses, just keep on trucking. I have had long-lasting personal and financial involvement with Kinsey White, who has resided with us at various times, including after the events surrounding the deaths referenced in this case. Years ago, while Lisa and I were applying for credit, we discovered that Cora Twombly had fraudulently opened a credit card in my name, which negatively affected our credit. Cora also obtained a young farmer's loan using I think it's Quentin's name, and possibly others, including Cole and Cora herself. The Farm Service Agency has declined to disclose details. After the murders, Kinsey was forced to flee with almost no personal belongings. She had cattle marked with pink tags, but it was unclear how many are truly hers, as some were sold by others without her consent or knowledge. During custody hearings in late May 2024, it was discovered all of Kinsey's cattle were sold without her knowledge and or permission by Cora and Cole. So after the murders, wow. Okay. In the early months of 2024, I learned that Cora and Cole had sold their Cora and Cole and Twombly's and Sons some previous calf crop in Kinsey's name. Kinsey was directed to deposit the proceeds from the sales into her personal bank account located at Anchor D Bank and write Cora and others a check in the amount deposited in order for them to avoid creditors. That is not her responsibility as a teenager or a child. Man, wow. This is the first bank account held by Kinsey, which she utilizes as her personal account. I would say, don't let my parents be freaking touching this. Cora and Cole would utilize this account to avoid creditors by funneling money through Kinsey's account. Cora and Cole would also utilize this account to pay bills amongst other expenses such as vehicle repair cost. Cora and Cole would commingle with the money they deposited into the account with Kinsey's and would withdraw money from the account beyond what Cora and Cole contributed and would not repay Kinsey for the money spent that was hers. Following Cora's arrest, we closed the account as soon as possible. Prior to that, Cora had withdrawn funds without Kinsey's permission. Wonder how much. She should write it down. There it is, probably. On December 3rd, 2024, Frank Twombly, without notice to me, opened another bank account at Anchor D Bank in Kinsey's name at the direction of Cora, with an initial deposit of $1,174.36 from a check drawn at Syracuse Commission Company. This account is currently held jointly by Frank Twombly and is subject to dispute. Too bad they couldn't just take out all the money. I would have. If I was Kinsey, I would have. As of the last known record, the account had a balance of $1,179.69. Wait, what? So they took out $3 and some change? Because it was at $1,174.36, and now it's at $1,171.69. Kinsey is listed as a receiver but does not control transactions. Lisa and I have access, and Cora directed the account creation through Kinsey by emailing and through Frank Twombly. During a custody hearing on April 17th, 2025, Cora testified that she created the account for Kinsey and authorized Frank Twombly to retain money for managing cattle expenses. That case occurred in Beaver County and was presided over by Judge Cash. Throughout this period, Twombly and Sons had been involved in unclear or conflicting ownership and business relationships. He's really that dirty? Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, what's on those things? I take them out of the thing, I put them on my face, then I put them back in the thing. How do they get so dang dirty? Probably because I can't see. I think we're good now. If we're not, don't make fun of me. But like something big on my glasses. If there's something there, just keep that to yourself. I'll never know. So throughout this period, Twombly and Sons had been involved in unclear or conflicting ownership and business relationships. Cole was long listed as agent through property taxes, were later found to be paid despite years of delinquency. Okay. Cora and others have interfered in various aspects of Kinsey's finances and property, sometimes using third parties to gain access or misrepresent assets. My statements are true based on my direct knowledge. Okay. With the conversation with the parties involved. He's like, I talked to him. That's what they told me. So now we've got the affidavit of Lisa White. I don't have any chapstick with me, so I'm using this lip gloss. Let me put some on really quick. My chapstick's out in the kitchen. And the chapstick I like, they're not selling it anymore. I'm so sad. I can't get a good mint chapstick around here. Lisa White, upon my oath and under penalty of perjury. It says, I married Coby White on January 15th, 2013, sorry. Quentin White is my stepson. Kinsey White is my stepdaughter. My family and I have long-lasting personal and financial involvement with Kinsey White, who has resided with us at various times, including after the events surrounding the deaths referenced in this case. Years ago, while my husband and I were applying for credit, we discovered that Cora Twombly had fraudulently opened a credit card in Coby White's name, which negatively affected our credit. Cora had obtained a young farmer's loan using Quentin's name and possibly others, including Cole and Cora herself. The farm agency has declined to disclose details. If that's your son, why not? After the murders, Kinsey was forced to flee with almost no personal belongings. She had cattle marked with pink tags, but it's unclear how many were truly hers. We've read that already. During custody hearings in late May 2024, it was discovered all Kinsey's cattle were sold without her knowledge and or permission by Cora and Cole. And they're sitting at jail at this point. So, I mean, they're like, whatever. In the early months of 2024, I learned that Cora and Cole had sold their business, some previous calf crop in Kenzie's name. Kenzie was directed to deposit the proceeds from sales into her personal bank account located at the Anchor Bank and write Cora checks. We knew that. This is the same. So she's just saying the same thing as he is. So. Okay, yep. And then she's talking about how Frank Twombly opened the account. So same thing as what Coby said. Okay, I'm just making sure there's nothing different. Okay, that's the same. Okay. So this is a pretty long transcript. So we'll read through not most of it, but we'll read through a good bit of it tonight, and then we'll read through some more tomorrow. I'm going to exit out some of these tabs. I don't think we need them all open. As long as I don't exit out the one I need. Okay. We're good to go. So a couple of the defendants decided to take, the high road and say, hey, I did it, and give me 30 years and let me out or whatever, So Cora and Paul Grice, I believe Paul Grice was the first one. And then it was Paul Grice, I'm sorry. And then Cora, which we all heard in the, when they first got arrested, that Cole said that he was getting an attorney and Cora was getting the public defender. So maybe she just thought, well, with the public defender, I'm never going to beat this. So I might as well just plead guilty. Or maybe she wanted a little bit of life after this. I mean, she's what, 44, I said? Let me see. Cora's 44. I mean, 74. She might be able to kick it for a few more years. I mean, I don't know. People in jail, they thrive a little bit sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what they feed them in there. Junk. I mean, it's not good food. It doesn't taste good, but it must keep them like the nutrition level up, because they just are always there. Like, I don't know. Like when I see pictures of them, I'm just like, oh, look at them. Like Alec Murdoch, for instance, but after before the shaved head. So this is the transcript of the preliminary hearing proceedings. And we're going to go through them. This is going to be for Cora, I believe. I think she's the first one. Yeah, Cora's first. So I should have had like a few of you guys come up here and then like read these with me. That would have been funnier, because there's like so many different people. This is Paul's, I believe. Okay. Oh, I was trying to get it to where we're missing like something here. So it says is in the courtroom. Okay. So that's where we'll start. Okay. So is in the courtroom with his attorneys, Vila Lopez and Sarah Cherry Weber. Okay. Mr. Cullum is present in the courtroom with his attorneys, Mr. Miskell, I'm just going to say the last name, Miss Bridge, and Miss McLean. The state of Oklahoma is present by District Attorney Mr. George Leach III, First Assistant District Attorney. We don't need to know that. Okay, so we'll go down here. Mr. Leach, you may call your next witness. Okay. Mr. Leach says, state calls Paul Grice to the stand. Man, I wish we could have went to that court. Okay, so it says the court, okay, the record will reflect that Mr. Grice attorneys, Kate Laughlin and Albert Hodge Jr. Present in person with their client. If the clerk will swear Mr. Grice. Okay, so they swear him in. I'm just seeing. Okay, yeah, that's when they do that. Direct examination starts. Question. So I'm just going to read through like question and I'm going to answer. Would you state your name for the record? Paul Jeremiah Grice. Okay, and are you charged with four other co-defendants? Is that what that's supposed to say? I think they spelled that wrong. No, I gotta go over here. Let me go back a little bit. I think I could read it there. Okay. No, I gotta see where we're. 4 other co-defendants with murder conspiracy. Will you tell the court what your understanding is of what you're receiving in exchange for being here and testifying today for the state? to get off the death penalty. Well, I mean, yeah, that will do it. Now that group of co-defendants that I mentioned, who are they? Tad Collum, Tiffany Adams, Cora, and Cole Twombly. How'd you first become associated with them? I knew Cora from when I was a little kid. When I moved out here in 2023, I got reacquainted with them and started meeting with them at their house, at Cole and Cora's house. So it started out with you basically getting back in touch with Cora? Yes, sir. And then along with Cora, you met her husband? Yes. And then how did you come in contact with Tiffany Adams? Through Cole and Cora at their house there. And at their house, were they just informal get-togethers or were they more than that? At first, it just started out just friends hanging out, and then it turned into kind of a prayer meeting. And we started having it twice a week, once on Sunday and once on Wednesday. Now, at the beginning, it was a prayer thing, right? Yes, sir. And were those 4 individuals and yourself, were they all involved at that point in the meetings? Yes, sir, they were. And these meetings, were they regular? Every Sunday and every Wednesday? And were they at the same location or different locations? Sundays was at Cole's house and Wednesdays was at Barrett and Lacey Cook's house. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. Barrett and Lacey Cook is who I was thinking of earlier. Now, other than you 5, were there other people that attended these group meetings? Yes, there were several people that came to the group meetings to have supper and prayer and stuff. How many people in total would come to these meetings regularly? It was mostly children. Well, they got to have parents with them. Let's just talk about adults. How many adults? Adults, I would probably say, I can't remember everybody's names. I would say there was probably 15 adults. 15 to 16 was kind of average. It would change sometimes. Other than you 5, what were some names of people who came regularly? Barrett and Lacey, their whole family. And you say Barrett and Lacey, what's their last name? Cook. Okay. Cole's cousin, Clint Twombly. Oh, his cousin. Okay, sorry. His son, Frank Twombly. Did you say his son? You mean Cole's son? Cole's son, yes. The Tapp family. There was Kenny, Bob Tapp, and Joshua Tapp, the brothers. Them and their families would come to it. Of course, Tiffany, her kids, myself, my wife. And there were some other people that would come kind of here and there. I can't remember names much past that. You kind of answered quickly earlier. When did you all start meeting together? When did you start meeting with them? It was before Christmas of 23 when we started meeting together. I can't give you an exact date. I don't remember. And once again, when did you move back to this area? I moved back here, I think it was September of 23. Did the group also have a political side to it? It did. What was that? We were looking at information called American State and National. We had a couple people that would follow for information on that. American State and National, what does that mean to you? A form of freedom that was kind of an anti-government type thing. It also had a lot of other attributes in it. How to run a business in the private and manage PMA stuff. I don't know what PMA is. This private member type thing. You said PMA. What do you mean by that? Private Member Association. Oh my goodness. Private Member Association. I mean, who thought of that name? Okay. And how did you educate yourself about this belief system? The people that we follow, Bobby Lawrence and David Straight, was where we got our information. And where did this information come from? Would it come from books, videos, what? Books and websites from what the gentleman created. How did you attend any? Well, did you see these individuals speak in person? He says, yes, I saw David Straight speak 2 different times, once in January and the other one was I can't remember what month that was. It was this year though. Okay, both in 2024. And he says, yes. Where did you go to these? The first one was Oklahoma City. The second one was down in East Oklahoma around Claremore. Did any of other members of the group attend with you? Cole and Cora, Barrett and Lacey, Let's be more specific. In January, who attended with you? In January, it was Cole's wife. My bad. It was Cora and my wife, and I were the three that went. Okay. And then the other time it was Cole and Cora Twombly, Cole's son Frank, Barrett and Lacey Cook, and my wife and I. Okay. Now, as far as this belief system goes, there are things that you needed to do to become a full-blown state nationalist. Sorry. He says, yeah, it's a long process, filing papers and things through the courthouse. If you're trying to be anti-government, you wouldn't go to the... Okay. So he says, yes, it's a long process, filing papers and things through the courthouse. Question, did you file papers with the courthouse? Yes, sir. Some of us did. I can't remember who all did. I don't think Cole or Cora ever did. I know I did. I know my wife did. Barrett and Lacey, and I think their two oldest daughters did. In your opinion, did you become a full-blown state nationalist, or was there other things left? I still had other things to do. Okay, now you said these meetings, children would come as well, right? Yes. Did Tiffany Adams, did she bring any children to these meetings? Her grandkids. Do you recall their names? Cole and Kendall. And you, in fact, met them several times. At some point, you were told about the kids maybe possibly being abused. Yes. Who told you that? Tad and Tiffany both told me that. And let's go one by one. Tiffany, what did she tell you happened to the kids? She told me that she had seen a video of admission to the boy that did it. Told me the boy had been, I don't know his name, but it was Veronica's brother, supposedly, that he had anally sodomized the boy and a girl and made her lick the bloody after he had done it. Okay, well, I'm not going to say that word. That's graphic. That was graphic. Okay. Wow, Tiffany, you can make up a great story. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they were trying to be sovereign citizens. Yeah, they were trying hard. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Maga Mama. Thanks for being here. And thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate it. If you guys actually don't mind, will you take a second and hit the like button for me? If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We do talk true crime here every day. We talk different cases. We do it all. So if that's something you're into, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, hit the like button. It's free to do. If you would like to become a member of our great channel and our great family over here, I pinned the link at the top of the chat for you guys. Now my dog's getting comfortable in her bed. Okay. So it says, this is a video that she said she had. She said she had it. Yes, I never did see it. Never did ask for it. But you're willing to... Okay, I'm just going to keep reading. I'm not going to do it. Where are we at? What about Tad? What did he tell you? The same exact story. Okay, did Tad ever provide any proof to you? He told me he had it, but again, I never asked for it. Did he say specifically what proof he had? Said he had a 26-page document. Did he say where it was kept at? Yes. Where? Told me he kept it in a safe at his mother's house. But again, he never showed it to you. I never asked for it. Now, as far as this initial information from Tad and Tiffany about what they claimed was going on with the kids, how did that subject get brought up to you? Well, that was the five of us, Cole and Cora, Tad and Tiffany and I. Tiffany started talking about things that had been going on with the kids and how she didn't feel like they were in a safe environment. And once she got us hooked on the line of them not being in a safe environment and got us interested in what was going on, it was when that information came out. Okay, how did it come up? Would it just come up out of the blue, or were you talking about things that you needed to pray about? It came up so many times, I'm having trouble remembering exactly they would bring it up, how they would bring it up. But usually it was one-on-one, kind of quiet, making sure They had my attention. Once it was brought up to you, it was something that was mentioned all the time. Between the 5 of us, yes. Because they tried to kill her before, and then they were going to kill her with an anvil. Like, this is the freaking Roadrunner. Oh my good golly. These guys are like, just professional criminals, right? Can you imagine flatbed truck rolling down the road and you're behind it, right? You're behind it. But then you see a man on the flatbed trucks. So you're looking at the man and you're thinking, why is there a man? And then he's holding a 100-pound anvil because he's that strong. He's just while the car's moving and he's staying balanced. And you don't slam on your brakes. You don't do nothing because you see this anvil and you're like, I hope he throws that in my windshield. That's what was their plan. That plan would not have worked. It's crazy. Okay. So it says, what about Tiffany? Did she bring this up? Most of the time, yes. Again, it was between the 5 of us. Every time we got together twice a week, it was brought up. Okay. Would Tad also bring it up that frequently? Tad didn't bring it up as much as Tiffany did. Okay. Was there a time that Tiffany came to you and kind of talked about the problems that she was having with the custody situation? Tiffany shouldn't have any problems with the custody situation because she's not in charge of these kids. Too bad Wrangler was in rehab. Why didn't she get full custody if he was in rehab? Why would they even give it to the grandma? I don't even understand that. So it says here, okay, was there a time that Tiffany came to you and kind of talked about the problems that she was having with the custody situation? 2 times. I can't remember exactly when they were, but she texted me and asked me if she could come to my house and talk. And I know one of them was in February, and I think the other one was in early March, if I remember right. Okay, let's go back to the first one. You said you said possibly February. I believe so. So she asked you to come to her. So she asked to come to your house and talk about it. And he says, yes. Okay. And when did she come to your house? And he says, yes. Oh, sorry. It says, and she did come to your house. I'm sorry. And he says, yes. Okay. How long did you all talk? Probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. What did Tiffany say about what was going on? She told me several of the incidents that had happened with her son, Wrangler, and the kids. I can't remember a lot of the details, but they were kind of in a bad environment, drug-related type stuff that Wrangler was involved in. And again, I'm having trouble with the details from it, but she was just always painting a bad picture of the mothering ability of Veronica, parenting abilities in general between Wrangler and Veronica both. Well, the court said they do seem a little immature, but they have their kids' best interest at heart. So, crazy. And for clarification, who is Veronica, the children's mother? Okay, her last name, Butler, I believe. You know her last name. This meeting where she came over to your house in February, in your opinion, what was the purpose of that meeting? Well, after our talk, she point blank asked me if I would kill Veronica. At the first meeting? Yes. What was your response? Told her I would think about it. I had let her story create a lot of bitterness and hatred in me, and I didn't have any proof of it, and it was my fault. Yeah, like, you're the dumbest person I've ever met in my whole life, Paul. You had a wife and children, beautiful family. And this lady didn't even give you any proof of what was going on, not a receipt. This is okay. This is going to be kind of weird, but this Tiffany Adams lady reminds me of some people on this social platform where they don't show no receipt of nothing, but they can convince a whole lot of people to do stuff. It's crazy to me. That's what this reminds me of. So it says, now, did she ever bring up the Bible in an effort to try to justify or get you to help her? If they always have a sob story, She had a couple verses. I can't remember what they were. First one that comes to mind, I believe, is out of Matthew, where it talks about a person that makes little children stumble deserves to have a milestone tied around their neck and cast into the sea. And there was another one that was about being stumbling blocks. I can't remember where it was, in Luke, I believe. You're reading the wrong damn Bible. I don't know where you're reading that. Do you feel that these verses were used to make you feel obligated that you had to do something? That's what their intent was. Looking back on it now, it was taken out of context and twisted. It was deceiving and I fell for it. Yeah, you did. Do you have an opinion as to why Tiffany came to you for help? You're weak. She told me during our talk that she thought I had the fortitude to do it. She knew that I had a bad upbringing myself, had an abusive dad verbally and physically, and I talked about bad memories from time to time, things I'd been through. I think she knew I had enough hate in my heart to get it done. Yeah, she did. You're absolutely right. Now, did you ever give her the impression that you were this kind of guy, that you do things like this? When I speak of things like this, kill people. After she told me what had been going on with the kids, she asked me what I would do if it was my kids and that type of thing and had been happening to, and I told her I would kill somebody for my kids. Did you ever tell her or anyone in the group that you had killed people before? And he says, yes, I had. What did you tell them? I told them I was part of a mercenary group that had helped protect children and set things straight, but I hadn't. It was all a lie. He's going to jail for 30 years and this, I'm sorry. But what? You're lying to, you guys are all lying to each other. You were all lying to each other. What made you make up that lie? Stupidity, too much drinking. And that lie, that's something that you told the whole group. I would talk about it pretty often, not in front of little kids, but get drunk and talking with adults, yes. Completely untrue. Yeah, untrue, every bit of it. The first time in February that was the subject of getting rid of Veronica first came up. Talk to me about the second time that it got brought up. When did that happen? He can't remember dates. He's dumber than a box of rocks. I really can't remember the date. I think it was early March. This was the end of March when they killed him. She came and told me that Veronica would be getting full custody of the children and that she didn't have any money to fight Veronica in court anymore. And again, she was just telling me how awful a place it was and the kids didn't want to go to her house. That's a lie. And the list just went on and on, the negativity about Veronica from Tiffany. And that's when I agreed that I would help her kill her. Where did this meeting take place? My house again. Was it just Tiffany who was meeting with you? She would bring the kids with her. Cole and Kendall would play with my kids while we were out in the shop talking. Where's his wife at? But no one else was a part of this conversation. And then he says, no, sir. Question, did she tell you if anyone else had also agreed to help her? The second time I talked to her, she told me that Tad and Cora had agreed to help because they were trying to keep Cole out of this at first, right? Tiffany said Cole was a talker when he drinks, and she was like, I don't want him involved, right? But Cora ended up telling her daughter. So that's kind of funny to me. So it says, where did this meeting? Oh, wait, so I read that. Did she ask for your input on how to do this? She did, but I told her I didn't have any ideas really of how to plan anything like this. You didn't know, but you killed people before. That's why she was asking you, Paul. And then she knew after you said, I don't know. She knew, this guy hadn't killed no one before, but he's going to help me. So it says, did she explain to you the situation at this point? Did she explain to you the situation with regard to there being a supervisor who would also have to be taken out? Yes, at that point. What was your response to that? Told her I would help kill Veronica, but I didn't want to kill any other. I didn't want to have to do anything else to anyone else. Did she ever provide any details of who the supervisor was? I can't remember the name. She did make it very clear that it was someone of a friend of hers, and she made it very clear that she would make sure that it wasn't that person on that weekend that this happened. Don't want your friend killed, right? Okay, so she explained that she had a supervisor that was her person that usually supervised. Yes. And that wouldn't be the person that would have to be killed. Right. Did she explain who this other person was? Okay. Did she explain who this other person was that would be there that day? Her exact words to me was, "It's a nobody." Oh, Paul. Did she try to justify the killing of the supervisor to you in any way? She said it was a witness. That's all she said. And at this point, did she have any plan? As far as our second meeting, no. When were you first aware of the actual plan? It wasn't just a few days after I had agreed to help her that everyone kind of started working on a plan. I think it was supposed to say it was. And as far as whenever it came rock solid, not until a week or two before it happened. Well, they started talking in the beginning of March. And were these things that yourself, Tad, Tiffany, and Cora, would you all meet up as a group together and talk about this? Sometimes we would. A lot of that was discussed during our prayer meetings. The 4 meetings Cole would be with us. The 4 of us would leave our phones in someone's pickup or something and get out away from everyone where we could have a private conversation, talk about things. Put your phones in the truck. We don't trust any of you. I mean, that's what it sounds like. They don't trust none. They don't record the conversations. Crazy. Specifically, these private conversations, where would they occur? At our meetings on Sundays, it was Cole's house, and Wednesdays, it was Lacey Cook's house. Okay, so where in proximity to those locations would you meet? Would you meet inside the house or go somewhere else? What would you do? Well, the 4 of us, we would go outside away from everyone. We wouldn't talk about it around nobody. So it was, and then it says, Miss Weber, Judge, could you just clarify, because he's mentioned 5 and 4. So the 4 of them, if he could tell us who the 4 people are, that would be great. Okay. So it says, when I say the 4, that's excluding Cole. He wasn't always at these meetings. And then Miss Weber says, thank you. Okay. Question. I think you said Sunday's meetings were at Cole's house. Wednesdays were at the Cooks. Yes, sir. Wednesday before the murder, there was a meeting at the Cooks then. And during that meeting, did you discuss the plan after that meeting? Yes. Let me go step by step. Where did you talk about it? We were at the end of the driveway from the Barrett's house towards the west. Okay. And when you say we, who? That was, I don't remember if Cole was in that meeting that night or not, but it would have been Tad, Tiffany, Cora, and myself for sure. I can't remember if Cole was there for that meeting or not. Do you recall Cole being at least one of these meetings at the Cook's house when you discussed the killing? Yes. Could have been the Wednesday before, could have been a different Wednesday. Yes. Is that when you learned what the actual plan was? Okay. I just need like a 2-second break. And welcome in, everybody. Right, Laura? That's not I don't want to go to that kind of Bible study group. I'm good. I like the kind when you leave and you feel good. Feel like you accomplished something. You know what I mean? You just feel good. This meeting would make me scared. Okay, so then we're going up here. I think you said Sunday's meetings. That's right. We're going down. Okay, so it says, was that when you learned what the actual plan was? About a week before the actual murders is when I knew what the actual plan was. I can't remember what day it was, but Cora, Tad, and Tiffany and I, we went to Cora's pickup and drove to the location of the murders. And that's when we went over a plan. Wow. What time of the day did you do that? Early morning. Oh, they even did it probably at the same time. Okay, who was explaining the plan to you? Tiffany. Oh my God, I can see her out there right now with her little clipboard. giving everybody their jobs and their cell phones, their burner phones. Okay, what did she tell you the plan was? She said she was going to have a pickup and a trailer with a freezer in it, and she would come with a way to lure the women to the trailer. Told me that my job was to kill Veronica and that Tad would handle the supervisor, Jilian, and that Tad had a place to bury the bodies and the evidence. Okay, where was the murder supposed to take place? The corner of Road L, and it was Highway 95. Ask you a different way. Was it supposed to take place inside the trailer? Yes, that was our hope and plan. Why was it supposed to be in the trailer? I don't really know why. It's just what we came up with. I'm going to slow down just a bit and kind of go through it one by one. So your job was to kill Veronica. Yes, sir. What was Tiffany's job? Or what was Tiffany's job was to lure Veronica into the trailer? Yes. What was Tad's job? I was under the impression that Tad was supposed to kill Jilian. What gave you that impression? That's what Tiffany told me. Okay, what was Cora's job? Cora was in Elkhart that morning, the morning of the murder. She followed them to the location to make sure that they weren't being followed. And Cora was grabbing their phones and destroying their phones. That's why their phones were destroyed so fast. I told you they grabbed their phones. Oh, shoot. Tell us more, Paul Grice. Spill the tea. Okay. What was your understanding of her role? What was according to Tiffany? Yes, sir. Who brought up the taser or stun guns? Oh, yeah, she bought them too. Tiffany. That wasn't your idea? No. Okay, what was the thought process with regard to that? She said that hopefully this would help us immobilize them, and if they didn't get in the trailer, it was so we could immobilize them to get them in the trailer. They wouldn't go willfully. Did you have any concerns about that? I did. I talked to Tad about that. Again, timelines running together. I can't remember when I talked to him about it, but I talked to him in fear and in worry of being able to get them in the trailer and what might happen if things went south according to plan. Did you and Tad decide to do something different? Don't go against Tiffany. It seemed like we had come to the agreement between the two of us that we would talk to Tiffany about something, try to come up with something better. I can't really remember what ended up coming up after that. How did the use of hammers come about? Because there was a broken hammer there at the scene. I think the hammer was more my idea. I was thinking if you could knock them in the head and knock them out, it would make things easier. But obviously that didn't work. Did you ever have a conversation with Tiffany about how she wanted this to happen? I did. I asked her if there was a certain way she wanted it done. She told me it didn't matter. Did you discuss with anyone else the specifics of how you were going to do it? No, sir. Did the use of guns ever come about? Tad and I kind of talked about guns a little, but I didn't really want things to be loud and drawing attention to ourselves in case of who might be around. The use of the freezer, whose idea was that? Tad's. And what about the ratchet straps? That must have been Tad or Tiffany one. I'm not sure. Tiffany told me she got them, which I thought was a good idea, but I don't know who originally came up with that idea. All you know is according to Tiffany, she purchased them. Yes, sir. What about the burial site? Tad told me I think it was a week before the murders actually happened that he had a place picked out. But I was unsure of where it was until the morning of. Man, they didn't tell him anything until like right before. At any of these meetings you had with the group, did anyone ever express reservations or questions why it needed to be done now or provide other options? Can't really speak for anyone else out of memory on that. I know myself, I was worried about it, and I talked to Tiffany and told her that I was nervous about it, and as far as any statement from anyone else's reservation-wise, not that I can remember. Did you have any suggestions on other things to do instead of going through with it? No, I didn't. Now, at some point, did you learn that Cole was going to be involved? I didn't learn that Cole was going to be involved until the night before. I can't even remember who it was that told me. It might have been Tiffany. I can't remember for sure. What was your understanding of what Cole's role was? Cole was going to be at the four corners as a lookout. Just basically a traffic check to make sure we didn't have anybody coming from that way. Are you aware of his role being anything other than that? Yeah. At that point before the murders happened, were you aware of his role being anything else? Other than bringing Tad's pickup with the hay bale down to the location of the burial, no. Moving to the day of the murders, you start your day at your house. Yes, sir. About what time do you wake up? I was nervous that morning. I was up at like 3, maybe even earlier than that. My mind wasn't right. I was up early, watching the sun come up. Did you meet with any other group at your house? Did you meet with any of the group at your house that morning? Cole and Cora came to my house that morning. Okay. I think it was around 8:15, 8:20-ish, somewhere in there. And why did they come to your house? Cole and I went to Tiffany's house from there. Cora left to go to Elkhart from my house. What was Cora driving, if you remember? Her pickup, her little Chevy half-ton pickup. What time thereabouts did you leave your house? 8:30. And then you went directly to Tiffany's? Yes. About how far is her house from yours? 15 miles. So 15 to 20 minutes? Yes, sir. Once you got to Tiffany's house, what did you do? We hooked Clint Twombly's flatbed pickup to Tiffany's trailer. Okay, and you say we, who's we? Cole and I. And you, let's go back a little. You hooked Clint's trailer, Clint's pickup, yeah, to Tiffany's trailer. Okay, both you and Cole did that. Yes. After that happened next, what happened next? Tiffany and I left and headed east. I can't remember what road that is that Tiffany lived on, but we headed east down that road. Oh, thank you, Maga Mama. That's so sweet of you. She says, thanks for all of you. All right. Thanks for all of you, the mods in the chat. Best place to be. Thank you. Hey, Ashley. Oh, no. You broke your phone? Oh, that's the worst. Okay. So it says here. So what happened after that? What happened next? Tiffany and I left and headed east. I can't remember what road it is that Tiffany lived on, but we headed east down that road, and Cole left to go to the lookout point at Four Corners. What vehicle did Cole leave in? I'm assuming he left Tiffany's house in my pickup because after everything happened, my pickup was at Tad's house. And Tad's house. Don't know who else could have taken my pickup over there. You didn't see him drive your pickup? Yes, he left my house and Tiffany's house in my pickup. You did see that? Yes. Why didn't you say that a minute ago? Okay, so it's based on your actually seeing him drive your pickup, not on any assumption. Yeah, right. He says, right. Got you. That morning, what are you wearing? Wrangler jeans, leather shoes, black hoodie, and I had a wool tan coat or jacket on also. Black hoodie, is it just a plain black hoodie or is it something more? It's got a little eagle and a flag on it, bunch of writing on it. Well, you're not trying to stand out. Is it associated with anything? American State Nationalist hoodie. David Straight hoodie. Did you get that at one of his conferences? Yes, sir. Did you bring anything with you? Tools, weapons? I had a hammer. The knife that was I had a hammer, the knife that was at the murder scene, and a pistol on me also. Okay, well, he came prepared, I guess. Can you describe the hammer? It was an old crusty ball pen hammer. You had a knife and you had a gun. Yes. What kind of gun did you carry? It's a 1911 45. What about the stun gun? Did you bring that as well? Tiffany had given me one. I forgot it that morning, left it at my house. She gave me another one out of her pickup that morning. Okay, now as you're driving to the scene, well, who's driving to the scene? Tiffany was driving. And at some point along the road, you pick up Tad. Yes, where at? It was a couple miles east of County Road 54. We picked up Tad there. Do you know, is that his property, or did he have an association with that? I believe he had a field there at that where we met him. You don't exactly know. I don't know if it was his or a lease field or what exactly. I'm not sure. He was leasing the property. Now, on your way over there, did you learn anything more about your role, what your role was going to be in this? Tiffany said I would be staying in the trailer. She didn't want a stranger being seen for fear maybe the women wouldn't come out of the car or whatever. Just two, I was supposed to kill Veronica. On the drive over, did Tiffany receive any phone calls? She had talked to Cora a couple times on the phone, and I believe she called Veronica a time or two. I can't remember for sure. I know she talked to her a couple of times. Okay, how do you know that? I heard her talking to her. Could you hear her voice on the other side? I heard her say Veronica. Okay, how did you know it was Cora that she was talking to? I could hear Cora's voice on the phone, and I also talked to Cora when they were en route from Elkhart to the scene. What kind of phone were you utilizing? It was one of those burner phones that Tiffany had, a little flip phone. As far as you know, was that the only phone that the three had at the time? As far as Tiffany, Tad, and I, yes. Where was your phone at? I left my phone in Tad's pickup when we met him. Were you instructed to do that? No. This guy, he just be leaving stuff everywhere. He left a stun gun at home. He's got a rusty ass hammer. I got this rusty ass hammer, a knife, and a gun. And then he's like, I left my burner phone in Tad's truck. I mean, like, what the? She picked these. I mean, okay, this is why she picked him, I guess, Why did you leave it? I didn't want my phone pinging its location. Do you know what Cora was saying to Tiffany on the phone? I don't know exactly what was being said, no. Do you know the gist of what was being said? As best as I could tell, it was just checking on the location, seeing if she had seen Veronica's car yet, just trying to get a location on what was going on. So once you arrived at the scene, how were you parked? So Road L we pulled, there's kind of an almost Y there where it almost makes because Country Road 95, kind of that curve right there. So Country Road L makes a Y to make a lost sharp turn to get onto the highway. And we pulled off on the Y headed south. Pulled off in the grass from Country Road L, I would say probably 10 feet off the road, off Road L, or 100 feet off Road L. And so the vehicle pickup and trailer, it's facing south at that point. Yes, sir. And it's parked to the right side of the road. Yes, sir. Once you park, what did you do next? Got out of the pickup, walked around a little bit. Tiffany went behind the trailer to the north of the trailer, and we were just kind of visualizing where the women might park and what we were going to do. And are there any phone calls that Tiffany received while you were waiting? It seemed like, I don't know, she called Veronica or if Veronica called her, but she told her where we were at, told her to pull in behind the trailer, and also she talked. That's right. After she talked to Veronica, I think is when she talked to Cora. And I talked to Cora earlier the whole time, I talked to Cora nearly the whole time until they pulled in. And what were you and Cora talking about? There was a pickup following the girls, the women, and we weren't exactly sure who that pickup was, but it ended up going by. And at some point you were instructed to do something. I was told by Tiffany to get in the trailer. How did you get into the trailer? Through the side door on the would-be west side of the trailer. Stepping back this trailer, can you briefly describe it? It's a 24-foot stock trailer. Hot Shot brand, I believe. White solid top, had 2 air slats on both sides. Pretty solid trailer. How many doors did it have? 2. One on the front right side, a little escape door, and then the rear gate on the back. Was it also what you would call a gooseneck? Yes. I don't know what that means. So Tiffany tells you to get inside the trailer. Yes. And how do you get inside the trailer? Through the side door. And once you're in the trailer, what do you do then? Losing my mind mostly. I was scared. When you get in the trailer, what do you see? I could see the freezer in the back and the ratchet straps under it. What did the ratchet straps look like? Brand new, the 2.5-inch ratchet straps. Hay straps is what I call them. What color? Yellow. When you say the freezer, it's at the back of the trailer? Yes. And when you say back, you mean back where the rear gate is? Yes. All right. Are you able to see what's going on outside of the trailer? Through the slats, I could see out but I was crouched down. I didn't really see anybody pull in or anything. Tiffany told them that Cole and Kendall were in the trailer with a baby calf and they wanted to show their mom. She's evil. Kids are in the trailer. They want to see. They want to show you this baby calf that I'm bringing. Love ya. You know, like they really have that good of relationship. Veronica should have just should have punched her in the face. At least get one good blow in. You know. I wish she would have. She would have knocked her out. She would have knocked her clean out. That's why Tiffany didn't go by herself and try to fight her by herself. I hate when people can't be one-on-one. It's got to be like a group, you know, and one person. I hate that. It makes me it irks my soul. So it says, are you holding anything in your hand? Okay. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're up here a little bit. Okay. It says, that's what you heard Tiffany say. Yes. You didn't see the vehicle pull up. I heard it. I didn't see it. Okay. Now at this point, where are you at in the trailer? Right by the side door on the front. Are you holding anything in your hands? I had the hammer in my left hand or the taser in my left hand and the hammer in my right hand. Did you see or could you hear where Tiffany was at this point? I couldn't see her, but I could hear her and I saw her walking. She walked towards the vehicle when they pulled in. And Tad was kind of hanging around in the right side of the trailer where between the side door and the axles kind of. Right there on the passenger side as well. Yes, sir. What did you see next? Next thing I saw was Tiffany walk past the door and Veronica was right behind her. Okay, what happened next? Veronica leaned in the side door of the trailer. That's when I attacked her. And how did you do that? Tried to shock her with the taser. Hit her with the hammer a couple of times. He broke that hammer over her damn head. I can't even imagine that pain. Which did you do first? Honestly, I don't remember. What happened after you attacked? She started moving to the west away from the trailer. I came out of the trailer, hit her again with the hammer. That's when it broke. When you're hitting her, where are you hitting her at? Right side of the head, on the top of the head mostly. So she runs and you chase? I chased her, got up behind her, and I tried to shock her again with the taser. I think I ended up hitting myself instead of her. My right arm went numb. I couldn't feel anything in my right hand, and right after that is when I tackled her. At some point, did the hammer break? Yes, it broke the first time I hit her as soon as I got out of the trailer and like the third time I hit her. First time you hit her outside the trailer, it broke? Yes. Which would be the third time in total? Yes, sir. Twice inside the trailer and once when I got out. Where did you said you tackled her? Where did that happen at? Right in front of her car, right between the car and the back of the trailer. Now, during all this, could you see where Tad was? When I left the trailer door when I left the trailer door on the front right, Tad and Tiffany were grabbing Jilian. They were right there against the passenger side of the trailer. Did you hear anything? Both women were screaming bloody murder at that point. And I heard a fainting scream and gasp from Jilian. Now, going back to when you tackled Veronica, what happened next? In the heat of the moment, I didn't know what to do. That's when I pulled my knife and started stabbing her. Where did you stab her? I was trying to get her throat. I didn't know where all I got her. She was fighting me. I was so scared. I don't know where all I got her, to be honest. You were scared, Paul Grice? You were scared? You weren't being chased around like a freaking animal. Oh my goodness. This is horrific. Did you ask for anyone to help you? At some point during the struggle, I cut my hand open. I couldn't feel it. It means you couldn't feel your arm because you stunned yourself and now you knifed yourself. You're smart. My fingers were just flopping around and I started yelling at Cora because she was right there by the car getting the phones and things out of the car. I was yelling at Cora trying to get help just out of the pure scaredness and pain. Yeah, so Cora's just chilling by the car watching all this go down like a Jerry Springer episode, like a horrible Jerry Springer episode. Fighting, chasing. Mm. So then, did Tiffany ever come over while you had Veronica on the ground? She did. After her and Tad had loaded Jillian into the trailer, Tiffany came and walked a big circle around us. Like she was like a badass or something? Go back. How do you know that they had loaded Jillian into the trailer? Well, that's just an assumption because after I had killed Veronica, we got her loaded into the trailer in the back door of the trailer. I went and I got in the front door of the trailer, and that's when I saw Jillian in the trailer. So it's just, I don't know who loaded her. Tad and Tiffany were the only two over there, so it had to have been them. Going back to Tiffany coming over there while you had Veronica on the ground, what is Tiffany doing? Walking a circle around us laughing. It was the most evil laugh I ever heard. And then Miss Miskell, can we approach, Your Honor? And the court says you may. The court says, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is an American courtroom, and these defendants are entitled to due process of law as it is the state of Oklahoma. The court is well aware that this is emotional testimony, and certainly emotions are not unexpected. We are nearing the end of a long day, and Mr. Smith is going to finish up his direct examination, and then we will be in recess until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If you don't think that you can control these emotions this afternoon for the rest of this proceedings, let me know. At this time, you'll be escorted out by law enforcement, and you can return in the morning. If you think that you can control your emotions until we conclude this afternoon, you're certainly welcome to stay. This is a matter that's open to the public. So then, Mr. Smith, you may resume your questioning. Okay. It says, let me see something really quick. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Okay, I was just checking to see what time we were at. Okay. Okay, so at some point, did you realize that Veronica was dead? Yes, sir. How did you know that? She quit fighting me. She quit breathing. She quit blinking. You could see the life was gone. Did you see Cora come to the scene? I had seen her by the car, getting the phones out of the car and then go back to her truck. And now what truck was she driving? Her half ton, her blue or gray or whatever the color you want to call it. I thought it was kind of like a gray-green 2-ton, half-ton pickup. What did you do next? I stood up for just a moment and then I fell on the ground. Sat there for just a little bit. I was a few feet away from her. I don't know exactly how far. What happened next? That's when Tad came walking over from the trailer. Tiffany got in the pickup and trailer and backed it up closer to the body so that we could load it easier into the back. And Tad and I loaded her in the back of the trailer up by the freezer. Could you describe how you guys loaded her? Okay, I'm going to take a 2-second break. I'll be right back. Everybody be good. Talk to each other. I literally will be back like 2 seconds. Give me just a minute. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay. I have to take a bathroom break. Sorry, guys. Crazy, right? I'm like, I told Vince, I was like, are you awake? And I went out there and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm almost done. I'm like, but this is getting good. Like, we're learning so much more. So, where are we at? Okay, we're right here. I think we're like right at the top. The freezer was we had to push the freezer up a little bit to make room. And I can't remember what side she was laying on. I think she was laying on her left side with her head towards the passenger side of the trailer right against the freezer. Who was at her head holding her? Tad lifted her head. I lifted her legs. Who went into the trailer first? We just sat her on the back. We didn't go in the trailer at that point. We just sat her on the back. After that, what did you do next? I went around the side door and I don't know what I was thinking, but I got in the trailer at that point through the side door. Now, were you doing that because of your finger being bloody? Yeah, I don't know what I was worried about. My blood being at the scene, I don't think it mattered. There was blood everywhere. Wow. They covered the blood. When you went up to the scene, you didn't see it. They covered it with like kitty litter and stuff. So that's what we heard anyway. What did you got in the trailer? What happened next? Somebody shut the door on me. Do you know who? I don't know who shut it. The next thing I know, we were leaving. I could see Tiffany was in the passenger side and Cora was in her pickup. They were driving behind us for a ways. And that's when we left and we went to the burial site. Now, before you left, after you got in the trailer, did you communicate with Cora at all? Yeah, Cora, I told her I cut my hand open and she pops the roll of tape down for me to try to bandage my hand up with. What kind of tape? Duct tape. That's my dad used to use duct tape for cuts all the time. How did she get that in the trailer? Through the slats on the side. And when you get in the trailer, did you see Jilian? Yes. Where is she located in the trailer? She was on the driver's side of the trailer, laying on her back with her left side towards the wall of the trailer. So her head would be facing to the rear of the trailer. Yes. Okay. What did you notice about her? At first, I didn't notice anything. She was still motionless. After we got down the road a little ways is when I started noticing that her eyes were fluttering. And in between the bumps in the road and everything, the trailer bouncing, flying down the road, I couldn't tell if she was breathing or not. I tried checking her for a pulse. Did you feel a pulse? I don't know. Did you try to touch her to see if she would respond to you? I touched her on her throat and her wrist, trying to get a response, trying to find out if she was alive or dead. I got no response. And between my nerves being so chaotic and the bouncing of the road, I couldn't tell if she was breathing or not. What did you do? At first, I didn't do anything. I was still trying to get my bleeding to stop. I was freaking out. I kind of started getting the feeling that I'd been set up. What do you mean by that? I didn't really have any proof of it, still don't, but I just felt like I was the only one with blood on my hands. So you say set up, you mean you were set up to kill both ladies? Yes, sir. Question, what did you do next? Started trying to reason in my mind. I was scared, didn't know what to do, started thinking about putting the bodies in the freezer and not knowing for sure if Jilian was dead or not. And I started having a panic attack about how scared she would have been if she were to woke up in a freezer alive still. So like buried alive. That's when I decided to stab her in the side of the neck too. Where at in the neck? Right on the right side. How many times? I thought it was like maybe 2 or 3 at the most, but I really don't know. Did you try to put her in the freezer after that? I'd grabbed her by her right arm and drug her to the freezer, but I never did try to lift her or nothing. Now going back to your feeling that you might have been set up. Do you do anything later on to try to confirm or deny that? Dispel that? Yes. What did you do? I lied again to Tad and Cora, and I think let's take that. Okay. I lied to Cora about it too. Or Cole, I'm sorry. I lied to Cole about it too. let's take that one at a time. What did you tell Tad about what happened in the trailer? I told all three of them the same story. What was that? I told them that Jilian had woke up and that she attacked trying to take my gun to kill me. And I lied because I wanted to see their response to see they had anything to say and to know if they had tried to kill her or not. What was Tad's response? He told me that was more credit than what he gave her because she didn't give him no fight. What was Cora's response? Cora was shocked. She didn't really have anything to say, just a bunch of cuss words. Same thing for Cole. Did you tell this story to Tiffany? To be honest, I can't remember if I did or not. Probably did. I don't remember. Did you later talk to Tiffany about what happened and did Tiffany tell you what she saw with regards to what Tad was doing to Jilian? Yes, I can't remember. It wasn't very many days. I can't remember what day it was, but I think it may have been Wednesday or Sunday thereafter. I think it would have been the Sunday a week or after the murders. Tad, again, the five of us were out by ourselves, out in the yard somewhere by ourselves. It got brought up somehow, and Tad told me that he had tried to break her neck, but Tiffany said that she was at a weird angle or to get a good break. Now, at some point, did the vehicle stop? I remember it stopping one time before we got to, is his name Beasley, the owner of the property, Mr. Beasley? I think he stopped at the highway or something. And I can't even remember what was said or if he even got out or anything. I just remember him stopping. And then the second time he stopped was when we were at the gate going into the pasture. Did you recognize this location? Yes, I've been there several times with Tad doctoring cows and stuff. So where at on the property did you stop? The gate right at the cattle guard where you can either turn right or go to the pasture or turn left to go to Beasley's house. And so once you stopped, what happened next? I was still so scared about what I had done and what we all had done. Tad opened the trailer gate and I pulled my gun on him. Didn't know who it was opening the gate. What was his reaction? Pretty scared with a .45 looking down his nose. What happened next? He asked me if I drive public down to the He asked me if I would drive public down to the burial site and he was bringing the skid steer. Where was the skid steer at? It was sitting right there close to the road by Beasley's house. And did you in fact drive the pickup? Yes, sir. And Tad drove the skid steer. Yes, sir. What did you do with the pickup? He told me to drive it down by the dam on the pond. I would see the big dirt pile down there. That's where I drove to. And you did, in fact, see the big dirt pile down there. Yes. Once you got down there, did you stop the truck? What happened next? We took Veronica's body out of the trailer. Tad was changing the implements on the skid steer. He put the forks on and got the freezer out. And then at that point, him and I lifted both Jilian up and put her in the freezer first. And what happened next? We tried to pick Veronica up. We couldn't pick her up. Couldn't grab anything with my hand. I tried putting a rope around her to have something to hold on to. That didn't work either. Tad ended up putting the bucket back on the skid steer and scooping her up with the bucket to put her in the freezer. Oh my goodness. Because our girl Veronica wasn't a small girl. You know what I mean? She was a healthy girl. She was just healthy weight. And so when you're die, obviously you guys know this, it's dead weight, like they couldn't pick her up. Those guys were that strong. They were just so strong, two of them couldn't get her up. Oh man. They used the damn skid steer bucket to put her in the freezer. Just out on the pasture, Now, where'd I put it? Now, where were we? Okay, here we go, down here. What kind of rope did you attempt to use? Just a regular 30-foot lariat? When you said Tad used the skid steer to get Veronica into the freezer. Yes, sir. What happened next? Next, after we got both of the bodies into the freezer, we put the ratchet straps around it to lock the lid shut. And he put the freezer in the hole with the skid steer. And that's when he came back and told me to strip my clothes off. Both of us stripped all of our clothes off. Cole had gotten there At that point, with Tad's pickup and a hay bale, Cole was actually the one who threw the pile of clothes in the freezer in the hole with the freezer. And did Tad tell Cole to do that? I don't know. Cole did throw the clothes in the hole. Yes. And he threw Tad's clothes in the hole. Yes. Were you left with any clothes on at all? I still had my socks on, was all. What about Tad? Nothing. Was there anything of yours that you did not throw in the hole other than your socks? My pistol belt and pistol itself and the holster. Just, you got to keep that. And maybe you said maybe you didn't. Did the clothes go in the hole before or after the freezer was in there? After, I believe. And then you said Cole arrived and he had Tad's pickup. Yes. And he had a bale of hay. Yes. And that was hooked on a bale spike on the pickup. Yes. And what did Cole do with the hay? If I remember right, I think he just left it on the pickup for a while. Right after he threw the clothes in the hole, he left with Clint's pickup and the trailer, and I never saw him again after that. I'm assuming he took that to his farm. Okay, Cole didn't spread any of the hay around? No. Once Cole left with your pickup and trailer, what happened next? I was just sitting on the ground on the back of I was sitting on the ground by the back of Tad's pickup, and Tad was in the skid steer filling the hole in with dirt and concrete and everything. All naked? Oh, just all willy-nilly out there? Wouldn't you think, okay, wouldn't you think if you're going to throw your clothes in the hole, you bring extra clothes with you? I mean, what if someone went by? I would have been a sight to see. What are you guys doing over there? Oh, nothing. Just sitting here hanging out naked, burying 2 women that we just killed. I wish Mr. Beasley would have went back there. Actually, I don't, because he probably would have lost his life. Okay. So it says, did Tad ask you to do anything else? Not really, no. I just sat there and watched. Was there anything more that you did with regard to the hay? After he got the hole filled, he got in the pickup and put the hay out. I just pretty much rode in the pickup after that. I didn't do much. Did you all load the skid steer up on a trailer or anything? Well, he asked them if they put on any clothes. Yeah, he had a couple of bales of hay sitting there. We put, I don't know, 2 or 3 bales of hay. And then there was a trailer there, Tad's trailer, flatbed trailer was there. We hooked up to the trailer and loaded the skid steer. So we took it to Tad's house. Now, was the hay down by the hole or was it somewhere else? It was up past the horse pasture coming into Beasley's place. It was out on the country road. So did Tad spread hay out over where they covered the hole up was? Where the covered hole up was? Yes. Okay. So they put the dirt back up on there and then they put some hay on the dirt, probably to make the grass grow faster. Got some more hay and spread more hay out, and then you all loaded the skid steer on the trailer and left together. Yes. Where did you go? Tad's house. And once you got to Tad's house, what did you do? I got in my pickup and went to my house. I swear, did y'all have clothes on? And you mentioned this earlier, but your pickup was already back at Tad's house. Yes. You believe Cole did that. Yes. Now, after you get home, did you do anything to doctor up your finger? I got in the shower, and when I got out of the shower, my wife helped me fix it. Barrett and Lacey Cook had come down to the house to bring me milk down for my wife, so Lacey helped me fix my finger. I didn't say anything about what had been done. How did she help you fix it? All natural stuff, lemongrass, oregano, just put gauze around it and taped it up. Yeah, ain't doing that to me. How did you do, now, did you do anything on a later date to help with regard to the trailer? Whenever, I can't remember how many days or what day it was, but I went to Cole's house and Cole and I cleaned and power washed the trailer out there at his farm. Where is his farm at? It's like 11 miles from my house. I can't even remember the road number that it's on. I can drive you straight to it, but I don't remember the road number. Where is it in relation to the Griggs community? Griggs community would be a mile west and half a mile north. And then Miss Smith says, may I approach Judge? Again, you may. And then it says, by Mr. Smith. I am handing what I've marked as the State's Exhibit 17. Do you recognize this? Yes. What is this a photo of? It's the location at Mr. Beasley's place, the burial site. Okay, how do you know that? I can see it and I can recognize it. And then Mr. Smith says, State moves for omission of State's Exhibit 17. The court says, Ms. Lopez, no objection. Okay. State's Exhibit 18, do you recognize this? Yes. What is it? It's Tad and I's hats and shoes and my gloves and my knife. Okay. And the taser. And there are 2 hats in this photo. Mine's the one on the left. Okay, that's the dark brown one. Yes. And then there's 2 pairs of shoes. Mine's the one on the right, the leather ones. Okay, and that knife is yours? Yes, sir. And what is that right there? That's the taser thing. I don't know which one it was. That looks like the one you had. Yes, sir. And those gloves, do you know whose gloves those are? I'm pretty sure they're mine. Mr. Smith, okay. State moves for omission of State's Exhibit 18. Okay. Do you, so number 19, do you recognize that? My Wranglers. Okay. How do you know that those are yours? That's all I ever wore. Okay. And the State's Exhibit 20, do you recognize that? Yes, that's the brown wool thing jacket I told you I had on. And back to 19, those are the Wranglers that you were wearing that day? Yes. And the same question with regard to the brown jacket. Yes. And the State's Exhibit 21, that's my hoodie. Okay. Same one you were wearing the day as far as you know. Yes. That's the hoodie with the David stripe. Most of my clothes have a little unique mark to them. You can see in the picture right there, I ripped the top off of it. Did you do that on purpose? Yes. Then they're putting in more evidence. Okay, any objection? No. They're seeing if anyone has any objections. Okay. So the question is, now earlier you were talking about the reasons given why Jilian had to die, and your statement in response was something to the effect of she was a witness. Do you recall that? Yes. When you say she was a witness, are you talking about a witness to the murder of Veronica? That's when I say she was a witness. That was Tiffany's exact words, was that she would be a witness to the crime. She would have to go. Going back to Jilian in the trailer, your opinion based on what happened in the trailer, that before you got to the burial site, that she was dead. Before we got to the burial site, yes. Nothing further, Judge. The court, thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Court will be in recess until Wednesday, December 18th. Okay. And we will stop there. This is going to be, the next one is going to be Cole Earl Twombly. Actually, it's all of them. Versus Tad, versus Tiffany. Let's go down a little bit. It's going to be, who transcripts this? This one might be Cora's. Or it's cross-examination. So it'll be cross-examination next. How long is that going to last? I guess they be asking some questions of him. They want to know everything about Paul. They want Paul to tell them everything. So we will start the cross-examination. We'll do that on tomorrow's live. But wow. Thank you, Ladybug. I just saw that. Thank you. I have to go back up so I can read it. Oh, thank you for reading these testimonies from these involved in the mothers. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Why would they bury the clothes with it? So they were just trying to get rid of all the evidence. They thought that hole was going to last them forever and a day. They weren't smart criminals, right? So Tiffany and Veronica have had turmoil for years, right? For years. She had her babies, I believe, 2018, 2019. Veronica did. So Tiffany's always wanted these kids. I mean, she's always has. She thinks that they're hers. She thinks that they're possessions that she owns. And the thing is, those kids are never, ever going to visit her in jail, prison. After she killed their mother, after she did all this, your grandmother. Can you imagine your grandmother? Your own grandmother. They weren't essayed. Nope. Nope. No, yeah, very dumb criminals. I mean, she bought 5 burner phones, or 4 or 5. She thought that she was doing things right. She went on Valentine's Day to get the stun guns, that makes herself feel a little special. She bought the stun guns, the ratchet straps, all of it. I had heard that when she bought the straps, that one of Veronica's children was carrying them around the store because she had the kids with her. So the father of the kids was in rehab. So when all of this was going on, I don't know why they gave Tiffany any sort of custody, because when I was reading through the custody paperwork before the live, I was reading through all these documents I found. I was reading through the custody, and it said that Veronica had full custody or something, and maybe Wrangler just had visitation. But they said that in Oklahoma, if both parents are of sound mind, body, and they both care about their kids, and you can tell that they're both fit to take care of their children, then they always split it up 50-50, right? So when Wrangler went to rehab, Veronica should have just got 100% custody of those kids. And I think that might have been where the courts were going, and that's why Tiffany decided to step in and kill her before she could get her kids. Because the custody hearing was April 17th. I believe it was April 14th or the 17th, and they were killed on March 30th. So right before, they were going to give her an answer, and she had been working so hard to get a place, to get everything settled, to get her life together and in order so she could have her kids all the time. And it's sad. It's really sad. They were tortured. They were chased down. I mean, oh my God. I don't even like when someone chases me for fun. You know what I mean? Like I get all anxiousy, and I'm like, oh, stop doing that. Don't do that. I don't know. Oh, you're welcome. And thanks you guys for all being here tonight. Let me see who's all here. I was reading so much, it was hard to see the chat. I need a second eye. Not a third eye, just the second one. I wonder how good I'd be with 2. I wonder if I'd be like so much faster. Hey, Kira. So good to see you. Day shift. Oh. They are evil monsters. Mama, you're right. Yeah, man. They picked her up with a skid steer. Oh, what's a skid steer? Yeah, that's what that is. It's like I think of it as like almost like a big tiller or something. Like we actually had the picture of the skid steer. I wonder if I don't know where that picture would be. I know I still have it saved somewhere on this dang computer though. We had a picture of the property, and we had a picture of the skid steer. Like it was freaky. It was freaky. It was just not something we wanted to see. Let me see. Skid steer in Tad Columns Yard. See if they'll pull up. That was just showing me other people's skid steers. Let me see. If I don't find it tonight, I'll try to find it for us tomorrow. It's not showing me anything. It's showing pictures of him now, but I know that we had a picture of it at one point. Would it be in? Do I have a folder for them? I need to make folders for everybody. Photos from the King Road house. Wow, I wonder what's in there. Inside the Diddy files. What the heck? I got all kinds of stuff. Let's go to this. Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many. These are all, I think, from today. These are recent. These are for Idaho 4. Man, yeah, they had the skid steer. And it was in his yard. It was like, and you could tell it was like someone from far away, like zoomed in or something to it. Did everybody have a good time in the chat tonight? Hopefully you guys did. This is the first time like that our house, like it's actually all in order and these dogs haven't messed anything up. It's usually the bed that they mess up. I made it, and earlier I walked into the bedroom and it was still made. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with these animals? But it's because they've been in here with me. They're sleeping on their beds. Oh, Mia wants to sleep with Araya. She likes to get on the bed with her. Araya doesn't appreciate it as much. Good. Yeah, we went down to Cincinnati today to pick up, Vincent's new baby. And we had a good weekend. It was a good weekend. Tomorrow we'll continue reading these reading the testimonies, because this is really interesting. Like how I don't know how to explain it, because we haven't talked about this case so much like in a while, because there was nothing like really to talk about. And Carrie Moody that was in here, I don't know if she's still in here. She is like the encyclopedia of this case. Like she knows it all. She knows a lot of it, like all of it. I think she was actually went down to court and stuff, like court proceedings. But yeah, so I was glad that she came into chat tonight. Oh, and then this weekend, I might have a special guest for y'all. So just remember that. It'll be on Saturday. I have to see if she wrote me back. And I will make sure I write her back, because I'm bad about that. Okay, she hasn't wrote me back yet. But I asked her if Saturday would work. If not, Friday is fine, because she said she can do Friday or Saturday. And so who it is Body Movin'. She is the one that was in the Idaho Massacre podcast. She was in Don't Fuck with Cats. And she's very knowledgeable on the Idaho 4 case. So we're basically just going to talk about the case, the crime, and all that stuff. And I'm going to try to have some questions. If you guys have any, we'll like a couple nights before the live, we'll do an Idaho live and we'll get some questions together. Anything that you guys would want to ask her, that way I can write it down and we can ask her and it'll get answered for you. And then that way you guys don't have to like be in the chat asking questions, because then I can't, I would never see them. Yeah, me too, Maga Mama. We finish things around here. We're just waiting on them to give us them transcripts and stuff. And I was following Carrie Moody. She did a great job on this case. She really did. I forget the other lady that was with her. She was really good too. But I like Carrie Moody. I like her voice. It's something about people's voices, you know what I mean, that I think people like, and that's why they kind of like listen to them. Like I don't know, she can I can listen to her and I can either like be awake or I can go to sleep. And she has like a soothing voice, just like Chasing Anne or Chasing Crime. Chasing is her name. She has that voice. Like she'll be on her back patio and you'll hear the insects just going like crazy, and it just like puts you to sleep. It puts you to sleep. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna get some rest. I've been going since this morning. I have like literally not stopped. I've done so much stuff around here, and we went to Cincinnati and then we came back and then we went to this is a funny story. We went to Target in Cincinnati because we're passing, and I just woke up. Like I took a nap because his old car makes me pass out. So I'm like woke up and I was like, oh, at Target. You know me. I'm like a kid. It's like my Toys R Us. Okay. It's like my Toys R Us. So, so so on the way back, we had to get stuff like for the house, like laundry pods and stuff. And we didn't want to go to Sam's. So we're like, we'll go to that Target. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to have like new stuff, like new clearance stuff. Cause I'm like, I know where the sales are. I know where to go in that store. And, so we stopped and we went to like their little pretty section, for the house. And I haven't bought anything for the house in a while. I mean, I lied. I've bought 3 things. Let's just not talk about that. But I haven't been buying like I used to. So I told him, I was like, can I show you what I would buy if I could buy something? If I could pick something out? He's like, yeah, go ahead. He's in a great mood. He's living the high life at this point. He's in Target. And so I pick up this pillow. I have the pillow, but I have it in orange and this one's in yellow. And I picked up a yellow blanket to go with it. And I'm like, this would be so cute on our little chair in our bedroom. And so then on the way back from Cincinnati, we're driving up and I'm like, I can't get that stupid pillow out of my brain in that blanket. So the next message, and I was going to post this on our members only because it says, and this is the best message he's ever sent me. He said, do you want to go to Target? I was like, yes, I want to go to Target. So we went and we got that pillow and blanket that I wanted. So I'll have to show you guys a picture of it because it's super cute. No problem, Crystal. We're always here. We're here usually 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. We're looking for new subscribers. We're inviting you. We're inviting people in. I'm just kidding. No, but we'd love to have you subscribe. If you do want to become a member of the channel, it is linked up at the top of the chat, every chat normally. And we do go live, like I said, every day at 9:15 p.m. We talk different cases, true crime. That's all we really do on this channel. Then I have a second channel that's called Unfiltered with Tanya. And that's where we're going to start doing more of the unfiltered side. I do want to do some like clothing with you guys, like show you my clothing because especially the stuff that I have on sale. So I have a big sale going on my site, Poppy and Ari, Poppy with an I, Poppi, had to be different. I did put it on the community tab. So it's like it does now say Poppy and Ari at the top because I forgot to I put a sale on and forgot to tell you where to go for the sale. How am I going to do that to y'all? How am I going to put 40% off on things, 50% off on things, and then not even tell you where to go get the good stuff at? I was gatekeeping. I'm so sorry. And I think Ladybug said something. If who knew or not. I'm going back up now. He is enjoying his new job. He is. I said, do you have your clothes ready earlier tonight? Because I get my stuff ready the night before. My mom used to tell me to do that, and I never listened to her, not one damn time. And I was always rushing, and it was terrible. I procrastinate sometimes, He is he'll procrastinate. He will clean this whole house before he has to leave for work. Like he just doesn't want to do it. So being at home is a lot better for him because he's literally a 2-minute walk. He just has to get dressed. But I'm like, do you have your clothes ready for tomorrow? He's like, I just work right here. And I'm like, yeah, but do you have your stuff ready? So you don't run around. I don't think Wrangler knew. I don't know. I'm gonna go back through the arrest affidavits because there is something Wrangler said to his grandmother that doesn't make sense. And it's like she's pretty much calling Wrangler a liar. I don't like the way she did it. I don't like the way she worded it. I don't really like Tiffany's mom. But I'll have to read that to you guys. After we read this, we'll probably go back. Maybe we'll read the autopsy and we'll read some more of the other documents. But yeah. Oh, Kira, I can't help myself during fall. You shouldn't. Okay, so I'll tell you my secret hiding place. Because we don't have room. Like we have walk-in closets, but we just don't have room. We have too much stuff. Not too much because it doesn't look like it in here because everything is put away like in our storage. What was I going to say? But I buy so much. So I hide it in my second bathroom in my bathtub because no one uses the second bathtub, And so that's where all my blankets and my pillows are hidden. So if you ever opened it, you'd be like, "Oh my God, girl, you got a problem." I do. I have a soft blanket and pillow problem in the fall and the winter because I just want to be like summer again. I want that feeling of being happy and being in the sun. So instead I just buy a bunch of blankets. But I really do have a lot of blankets from Target. I think Target should sponsor me. I seriously do. I'm going to have to talk to them. No, I don't think it did with Tiffany's mom. I'm going to have to read that over to you guys, so. My birthday's coming up too. It's coming up fast. I don't know what we're going to do. I gave Vincent ideas. I was like, I don't care if we would stay home. I just want to get dressed up. I mean, I have one outfit. I want to get like 3 or 4 different outfits, just like, I never do that. Like for my birthday, I never like take a lot of pictures, but this birthday, we'll be taking some pictures, y'all. And we're going to be taking some like cute pictures. I'll have to tell you guys about them on a members only live. They're going to be like some really cute, like those kind of pictures. I know. Ashley's birthday is in October too. I think it's the 11th, 10th or 11th. We've been celebrating our birthdays together. This will be our 3rd or 4th year. Like the same month, but yes, I always curl up in them. Oh, yes. I love the warm blankets from the hospital. That's what that reminds me of. When you put them in the dryer and then you put, oh my gosh. Like I have surgeries a lot because I have a prosthetic eye, which I'll probably have another surgery maybe the end of this year, beginning of next year, but I'll still be on. I'll just have an eye patch. I'll be cool. I did it before. But when they take me back to surgery, it's always freezing in the surgery room because they have to keep the temperature down, for like infections and stuff. And so they always put like 6 of those blankets on me because I'm usually like, I used to be smaller than I am now. And they'll put like 6 of those blankets like on me to keep me warm. And I'm just like, oh, makes me feel good. The nurses are always so good to me. They're like, is that enough? Do you need more? And I'm like, I can't move. I'm like, I'm good. Is it the 10th? I thought so. I thought it was the 10th or 11th. Well, thank you guys all for being here tonight. I do appreciate it so much. I know that this wasn't an Idaho live, so I'm glad that we had a lot of people come in. I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. I know that a lot of people are still like into the Idaho case. I do have more stuff with Idaho. I have another interview with Kara Kernodle that I found. Don't know how I found that, but I did. Then I found a couple other videos and stuff. So I'm just like, I don't know. I always got me some content. Mine is the 17th of October. It is cold in the hospitals. I always take a jacket if I go to the hospital with me. I always take like a little something to put over myself because I'm always freezing cold. And then I feel if I walk in there like wearing something like this, like I have like a one-piece outfit. Oh, let me just see that. It's like a one-piece kind of like little deal. I feel like if I just wear just this, I'm like naked. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need something on my arms. And they don't need to see me this way. I guess it's just being a lady or something. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being here. I will be back tomorrow. If you guys don't mind on your way out, hit that like button and all the buttons. And I will see you guys all then. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt.